A gentle breeze carried the faint scent of magnolia through the back alley behind the television studio, where a single stray bulb cast long shadows across damp pavement. It was just past midnight on a cool spring evening in Seoul, May 2nd, though the date mattered little beneath a sky mottled with drifting clouds. Inside, under the soft glow of overhead fluorescence and the hum of cameras powering up, Jungkook sat alone on a simple metal stool, cradling a warm cup of jasmine tea in his hands. The world outside had fallen quiet, but inside his chest, his heart beat with restless anticipation. He was dressed in charcoal gray slacks and a crisp white shirt, sleeves rolled up to reveal the finely wrought tattoos along his forearms, silent testaments to the journeys he had walked in both light and darkness. His gaze lingered on the steaming tea, tracing the wisps of steam as they curled upward, as if each tendril carried a question he was not quite ready to answer. For years, Jungkook's voice had soared through sold-out arenas and echoed across continents. Yet tonight, the only audience he could truly see was the reflection of himself, wavering in the rippling surface of that cup. The producer's voice crackled through the headset. 5 minutes until we go live. He closed his eyes. Memories flashed across his mind. Laughter echoing in hotel corridors, whispered confessions in dimly lit corners of airports, hands brushing in fleeting moments between dance rehearsals. Always, there had been a hidden storyline beneath the spotlight, a narrative of two souls learning to keep pace with one another amid the whirlwind of fame. "John," called a gentle voice from the doorway. It was the interviewer, known for her empathy and ability to coax truths from even the most guarded hearts. He set down the cup, stood slowly, and brushed a lock of hair from his forehead. The studio doors swung open. Bright lights illuminated a stage set designed to feel like home. Warm wood panels, soft cushions, a single vase of white lilies. The cameras clicked on, and as the red, live, sign blinked, Jungkook inhaled deeply, stepping into a circle of light that felt both intimate and immense. The interviewer welcomed him with a soft smile. They exchanged a few words about music, about tours yet to come, but in the quiet crescendo between topics, she paused. Her question, simple in form yet seismic in impact, drifted across the stage. "Is there someone special in your life right now?" For a heartbeat, silence reigned. Then his lips curved into a small, tentative smile. The world seemed to tilt. "I think all this time, I was searching for something I already had," he began, voice low but firm. "There is someone who sees me, not as Jungkook, the idol, but as Jungkook, the person. Someone who taught me that I could be both strong and vulnerable." A hush fell over the crew, caught off guard by the depth of his confession. Outside, social media ignited. By the time the interview ended, hashtags like #JungkookTrueLove and #HeartUnlocked were trending in dozens of countries. In a dorm room in Jakarta, fan artist Ari sketched feverishly while watching the replay. "I saw his eyes soften when he said, 'vulnerable.' I drew that moment with trembling hands. I think it's his truest portrait yet." In a tiny cafe in Buenos Aires, college student Lucia sipped café con leche as she texted friends. He said, "I can be both strong and vulnerable." That struck me deeply, like permission to feel without shame. Back on the set, Jungkook described the small moments that had built to this revelation. The late-night phone calls that stretched into dawn, shared playlists of songs that spoke of yearning, a single hand-written note slipped into his guitar case before a concert in Paris. "When I found someone who held space for my doubts as tenderly as they celebrated my triumphs, I realized that love wasn't a distraction, it was my compass." Among the fans, speculation swirled. Some guessed at fellow idols, others proposed artists outside the industry altogether. Yet every theory carried with it a sense of collective hope, as if the world needed his happiness as much as it needed his music. In London, blogger at Kpop Heartbeats wrote, "I've followed Jungkook since his trainee days. Tonight, he gave us more than a confession, he gave us permission to love fearlessly." On a quiet street in Vancouver, teenager Maya pressed her forehead to the window, eyes glistening with tears as she whispered, "He made me believe my own story could have a happy ending." As the interview closed, the lights dimmed to a soft amber glow. Jungkook looked directly into the camera and spoke, not just to his millions of fans, but to anyone who had ever felt hidden or afraid to love. "You taught me that sharing your heart is not weakness. It is the bravest song we can sing." When the live sign flickered off, the applause of the crew felt distant, almost ceremonial. Backstage, Jungkook exhaled a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. He lifted his cup of now cool tea and admired the faint outline of his reflection once more. No longer a shadow, but a whole person stepping into the light. In the days that followed, stories poured in. Fans who confessed their own long-held truths, netizens who found comfort in vulnerability, communities reclaiming their voices to share love without fear. A cultural commentator noted, "This moment will be studied alongside history's great acts of courage, when a public figure dared to reveal their humanity and, in doing so, invited us all to do the same." And so beneath that unassuming studio roof, a journey that began with a whispered question unveiled a universal truth. That love, in its deepest form, demands authenticity, demands bravery, demands heart. It reminded us that each of us, no matter our stage, our audience, our fears, holds within us the power to illuminate another's darkness simply by speaking our own light into being. May we all find the strength to ask our own questions, the courage to share our secrets, and the grace to believe that in revealing who we are, we invite others to reveal themselves too. For at the end of the day, our greatest performance is not the one we offer to a crowd, but the one we live in every heartbeat of our lives.